Hi and welcome to my kitchen. My name's Deena and I'm a holistic health coach. And people have been asking me for a while to tell you what I eat, what's in my kitchen, how I cook, where I shop, all that stuff. So I wanted to start with a video of just the fridge. In future videos I'll show you some of my favorite kitchen tools around here, my pantry, how I organize my kitchen. But today I just wanted to show you what's inside the fridge and the freezer. So let's take a look. Okay, so we'll start with the door over here. Mostly a lot of nuts and seeds, some different things that we put in oatmeal. Big thing of raisins here. Here we have some raw cacao that I put into smoothies usually, or sometimes for baking. Some sunflower seeds. This here is, anytime you've ever heard me talk about supplements, I'm sure you've heard me mention the fermented cod liver oil. This is an excellent source of all the fat-soluble vitamins. So your vitamins A, D, K, vitamin E, really wonderful, highly absorbable source. It's called, you think of it as a supplement, but it's really just a food. It's cod liver oil. And a perfect supplement for preparing for pregnancy and for pregnancy. This here is my master tonic. I posted this recipe in the past and I'll post it again below this video today. And it's basically a mixture of horseradish and garlic and onion and cayenne pepper and all sorts of immune boosting things, ginger in a what's it called? Apple cider vinegar, sorry. Apple cider vinegar solution, and it's just dissolved in the apple cider vinegar. And then some pumpkin seeds, some tahini, medjool dates I love to use, also in baking. Sometimes I'll just have one with peanut butter and some shredded coconut on top. Dried apricots. Here we have some maca powder. Maca is from Peru, and it's a really fantastic thing to add to supplements, add to smoothies, excuse me. And it's great for fertility, really great for focus, for energy. So highly recommend this one. And here we just have, this is my daily probiotic. So I put a 1/4 teaspoon of this in water every morning with my breakfast. And down here we have two different soy sauces, one that has wheat. This is, if you don't have any wheat sensitivity, this is great. It's a fermented nama shoyu, so it's really easy to digest, and it's a good form of soy. And then this is the tamari, which is the gluten-free version. And always we have some kombucha happening in the fridge. This is from a local company near here in Massachusetts. So we have 2 different kombuchas here and some flaxseed oil. Eggs from pastured hens. That's why you can see they're all different colors and different sizes. This is what happens when you buy a dozen eggs from hens that are eating the diet that they're meant to eat. There's going to be some variety, and that's a good thing. And up here we have some clarified butter, also known as ghee. This is an excellent fat to cook with, very heat stable. It's just the fat from butter, so it should be no problem at all for anyone that has any lactose intolerance or dairy issues. Proteins are removed, the sugars are removed, all of that. Ginger, I use ginger tea. I put this in smoothies. I put this in my fresh juices. We cook with it. Really wonderful immune boosting and anti-inflammatory spice to keep on hand. And here we have more things that mostly we add to our oatmeal or sometimes smoothies. So we have hemp seeds, goji berries, sesame seeds, shredded coconut, and then this is a company that we really like for coconut, and this is just the larger coconut flakes. And down here, just some more nuts. So some macadamias in here. As you can see, we love our jars, so we reuse jars as much as possible with everything that we get. So we have almonds, we have pistachios, we have walnuts, we have Brazil nuts, excellent source of selenium in your Brazil nuts, great for men preparing for conception, so that's also important for men too, and some cashews. So that's the door. Here we have a lot of greens and vegetables. I hate when a vegetable bin is filled with bags that are overflowing. You can't see what's in there. Stuff gets spoiled. It's really hard to organize. So I keep all of our bigger leaves in a bigger bin, and then this one you can see just has right now Brussels sprouts, and it's really easy, and some broccoli stems that I like to juice. Easy to see everything, easy to keep organized, makes the fridge a very user-friendly tool. And here we have real maple syrup. This is we have it in our coconut oil jar, but it's basically some leftover soup that we made. It's a vegetable broth with some mushrooms, some chickpeas, a bunch of cabbage. It was really like an empty the fridge kind of soup, and we had just gotten a bunch of dried mushrooms. Always have an avocado on hand. Here's our sauerkraut that Gideon just made. It's still fermenting, but we have about a tablespoon of this with all of our meals to help with digestion. Here's some coconut milk, and here's some homemade almond milk. You can see a little bit of separation because it doesn't have any crap added to it that is going to keep it from separating, but you can just give it a shake, and it's a really delicious almond milk. The only ingredients are almonds, medjool dates, 1 medjool date for sweetening, filtered water, and some vanilla extract. So no, it's not in a Tetra Pak container. It doesn't have any preservatives. It doesn't have any stabilizers. It's just pure almond milk, and I love that. Here we just have a lemon and a lime. Easy way to store the leftovers once we start opening them. And you can see here we just picked up our farm share, our CSA, for all of our winter stuff. So we have some turnips, some rainbow radishes, a bunch of carrots, a bunch of parsnips, some other kinds of radishes. And here we have 2 different kinds of miso. So this is also a local company right near here in Massachusetts. South River miso you can find in pretty much all grocery stores, health food stores. But the Azuki Bean is excellent, and the chickpea. They're both really delicious misos. And again, another form of fermented food. So we had our soy sauce, we have our sauerkraut, we have our miso, lots of different fermented foods going on because it's really excellent source of enzymes and great for your digestion. And then here, you always hear me talk about, or I write about, batch cooking. So we're only 2 people in this household. It's just Gideon and myself. But whenever we cook grains or really do anything, we do large quantities because I don't want to cook every day. So here we just have a little bit of leftover spaghetti squash. We have some kasha here. Here's some brown rice. Here's some white rice. We have some salmon. I like to eat salmon a lot for breakfast or for lunch, so I do an entire huge fillet, which you'll see in the freezer in just a second. And keep that on hand, and I can eat that. And then here's our oatmeal. So oatmeal, if you do steel cut oats, you can make a huge batch of it. This is actually 3 cups of oats. And when we first cooked, it was 3 cups of oats, and it keeps perfectly. You just add a little water to reconstitute it. And these are my homemade crackers that I make in our dehydrator. So all filled with chia seeds and sunflower seeds and a bunch of greens and herbs, and best cracker you'll ever have. Totally natural. Our fruit bin, so a bunch of grapefruits, some apples, lemons, limes. And here is our vegetable bin, nice and organized without a ton of bags overflowing. The bright yellow cauliflower, I love that one, the orange cauliflower. And we have some beets here that I think I'm going to roast tonight. A daikon radish, some celery, cucumber. And then the only meat we actually have in our fridge right now is just some sausage left over in a fresh beef chorizo. So that's all we have there. And now I'd love to show you the freezer. Okay, so this is pretty full right now, but here we have, so here's some meat we recently got from the farmer's market, just grass-fed beef shank soup bones. So these bones are going to be excellent to use for beef stock, and then we'll use the meat in a stew probably. Here's the salmon I was showing you before. So we just ordered from Vital Choice recently 9 pounds of salmon. It came out to about 6 beautiful fillets. You can see the color here. It's wild Alaskan sockeye salmon from a sustainable fishery, the best you can get. Gorgeous color. And this is what I was showing you in the fridge. I just poach a huge fillet at one time. I cut it up and then I put it in a pan to poach. So that's pretty much all we have up here. And down here we have, so these are the mushrooms. Great site, Fungus Among Us. You can get a huge bag of dried mushrooms, and they're organic, which is usually hard to find. And these will keep forever. We just keep them in the freezer, I think, for freshness. And here's some mushroom pieces. Flax seeds. Flax seeds should always be stored in the freezer. It's a polyunsaturated fat. It's mostly omega-3, some omega-6s, but these will go rancid. And you want to really take good care of these oils, take good care of all of your fats. But the flax seeds should stay in the freezer in an airtight container. Here's one more butter we have left from Maine. We stocked up on beautiful raw butter when we were in Maine, and this is our last one. So just so you know, you can always keep butter in the freezer if you find a really good source of it. It freezes perfectly well. This is a fantastic money saver. So here we have some scraps of food, some stems from some kale, things I didn't cook. we just fill up this bag on an ongoing basis with scraps, and this is what goes into whenever we make a vegetable stock. So no need to use vegetables that are in perfect shape or something like that for a vegetable stock. This is great. And then the fun part is, or I think it's really fun, is that it tastes different every time. So last time we had one that was kind of more parsnippy, but the time before that it had a little more beets. This one might be more green, but it's a great way to store, to hold on to scraps. Some frozen berries for smoothies, some cranberries. This is used to be a much larger piece, now getting smaller, of beef tallow. So excellent saturated fat, stable, traditional fat to cook with. Really great for high heat. So if you're browning meat, if you're frying anything, you want to use something like beef tallow or the ghee that I showed you in the fridge before. What else can I show you in here? Some sprouted corn tortillas. I love this brand, Food for Life. The sprouting makes it more easily digestible. These really taste like corn, so you can do it. You can lightly cook them and make it more like a wrap, or you can actually get them a little bit harder in the pan and make them be really good tortilla chips that don't have any bad oils in them. It's just the tortilla chip. And then here we have everything that we make, and whenever we cook anything, we freeze some portions. So we have a bunch of different stews, some soups. Here's, I think, a carrot ginger soup. So we just keep everything on hand here so that cooking dinner does not have to be a production all the time. We can take one of these out a couple hours before or in the morning, grab some whole grains and saute up some greens, and you can have a really healthy dinner in about 10 minutes. So that's my fridge, that's my freezer. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for some more videos around the kitchen. Thanks, have a good one.